What a fun game. Exactly what you would expect a top of conference standings in the Sun Belt to be. Two teams going at it back and forth. Neither team allowing the other team to play at their very best, and kind of an ugly game. But super proud of our guys of finding a way to make just enough plays. And we had sat here and talked about over the past couple weeks in different press conferences about moving on to the next play, and there's just so many examples of us being able to do that here tonight. Whether it's Eddie knocking down a huge three at the end of the game after missing two in the first half, it's X missing a free throw and then taking a game-winning charge and then executing press attack and making two free throws to seal the game. It's Mark not having his greatest floor game on the offensive side of the ball, but coming in and finishing a game winner through some contact at the end, and just Elijah making free throws. So guys just stepping up, keeping their focus on their teammates and competing for one another, not necessarily performing. And that was the difference against a really good Troy team tonight.
You talk about the winning plays. Can you just talk a little bit about the way X has bounced back here the past couple weeks after, probably I would say a couple weeks ago maybe it was a low point for him during the season, and then he makes those two winning plays tonight.
No, it's huge, right? And that's what it becomes, right? I always say basketball is the greatest teacher of life, and that's why I believe in doing this, because it's a game of responses, right? And it's a season of responses. And so, I don't know, a couple weeks ago we took him out of the starting lineup. He didn't have his best game, and then he just responded by playing terrific the very next game when he had his opportunity. And since then, his energy's been so unbelievably contagious in a positive way, and it's been infectious with our guys, and he's done a terrific job with that. And it means everything to our team when he's doing that. It's contagious, and it's like a domino effect. Everybody else kind of has that mentality as well.
And Elijah, his numbers are pretty good. They don't necessarily jump off the page today, but you got 28 minutes out of him. And it didn't seem like, other than maybe when he hit the floor that one time, like he seemed to be pretty fresh throughout the game. Like, just, what did he give you underneath when it was such a physical game?
Yeah, you got to credit Troy. This was the type of game that you weren't going to be able to designate a bunch of touches for a guy like Elijah. They do such a great job with their post coverage, with their blitzes. We had the one post turnover when we kind of threw it into him late clock. And other than that, though, he went and found the points tonight, right? He was rebounding the ball. He was screening. He got to the foul line and finished, through contact, or forced the contact and then finished those. And that's what you have to do, right? Because we're not going to be able to just get you a whole bunch of touches with play calls against this defense that they had here tonight. But he found a way to really impact the game. Being the biggest guy out there, I'd like him to get a little bit more than 4 rebounds, But I'm so super proud of him for, getting in there and mixing that thing up, because those 2 offensive rebounds that he had were absolutely huge.
Obviously, going off that a little bit, it was a physical matchup tonight. Can you talk about, is this something that you guys have focused on a lot the last few weeks, or something that you guys can focus on going deeper into the season? How does this shape you guys?
Yeah, it probably took a little bit for us all to get used to just the physicality of the league in general, and so I think our guys have really adjusted to that, and their mindset is, hey, if this is going to be a physical game, advantage us, right? We're not going to look at the officials. I'm not going to get on guys. If they're going to allow it to be physical, then that's how the game's going to be played, and we got to find a way to win that. And I thought we certainly did that tonight, especially looking at the turnover and the assist margin. Both teams, with the defense that we played against one another tonight, we were going to limit assisted baskets. We were going to take them away from that. We weren't going to let Connerway get going in that regard, and then the same thing for those guys. But we have one less turnover and one more assist than they do. That's the difference in the game, and it was all due to just toughness plays, right? Really sharing the ball, breaking down hands, driving through contact, and making yourself available.
Going off the physicality, the last drive of the game, we saw Mark take it to the basket. Can you talk a little bit about how much confidence he's given you through his 5 seasons and how much of a player he's been for you?
He's really grown a lot. He really truly has, and he didn't. I didn't realize he had 6 turnovers in the game, right? But again, I go back to just that response. I don't know that 2 years ago, or certainly the young Mark that we used to coach against when he was in our league on a different team, that he would have had that type of response to be able to finish and rally his troops. But that's the maturity and the growth that he's really developed over the past few years, and that's why we brought him here to be able to do that. Speaking of that last play, I got to give a shout out, Coach Lombardi. That was all him. That wasn't me. He had that one in his back pocket, and supreme trust in him. And he grabbed the board, drew that one up, and knew exactly what we were going to get, and we were able to secure it with that one. It's a great play.
Is there anything new that you learned about your team tonight?
Yeah, that we can find a way to win when we get out rebounded, but I never want to learn that again about us because it makes me sick reading that. But yeah, we gave 12 offensive rebounds. I thought, we did a phenomenal job in transition, right? What you guys count as fast break points isn't necessarily how we, calculate transition points, right? And what leads to points, if you do a poor job with your transition. So we've been averaging 15 points per game given up in our defensive accounting, okay? We gave up 4 tonight. And so if I would have said it in my locker room, the guys would have exploded and clapped because they were so happy for doing that. But that's been a big problem for us as of late. So cutting down on other teams' transition was significantly better, and we kind of learned that that's going to be the difference in a game. But then we've also got to be able to pair that with better defensive rebounding because 16 is going to be a hard number for us to win with in this league.
The more you guys are in these close games coming down to the end, the one possession, and you guys have been able to come out on top in these last couple, just what kind of a confidence boost does that give you guys as a group, knowing that, okay, we can pull this out,
right?
And unlike, maybe earlier in the year where that wasn't the case.
Yeah, and I think it's fair to say I don't know that we win that game in November. And, I remember sitting here a couple times talking about, some tough losses that we just weren't quite ready to win those games, but they were very, very much a part of the process of us becoming, a good team that was going to compete at the top of this league. And I'm not here to be the I told you so guy, but I really believe in that process. And so the fact that we've been able to bounce back from coming up short and now finding ourselves on the right side of that, it does give you tremendous confidence. And you're gonna be in a ton of close games, especially as you get in the back half of February. Everyone's fighting for their lives. Everybody's fighting for the best opportunity. In Pensacola. So all of these games really truly matter. Each possession matters. So when you can find yourself on the right side of it, it does give you confidence, knowing what's coming down the pipe is going to be more close games.
Just on the basis of being out rebounded, like you were talking about, how do you think that played a role in the final minutes of the game?
Well, we found a way to really finish those possessions. We only gave up 4 offensive rebounds in the second half total, which was a big difference in the second half. But we finished possessions. We really, truly did. We forced some really tough shots, and then we gang rebounded, as we would call it. And then that gave us some opportunities to, get out on the offensive side of the ball because they were sure whipping us on the offensive glass early on.
Yeah, Troy had a better shooting percentage in the second half, but you as a team, 11 of 16 at the free throw line. Just talk about the advantage in terms of being able to get to the line more than you had in the first half to ultimately get the win.
Just being aggressive, right? Taking what they gave us, not settling, and I thought we did a better job. One thing we talked about was just driving, getting to 2 feet. They are an unbelievable vertical contest team. Like, it's incredible how good they are at that. And so if you just drive in there wildly, they're going to contest it or block it and turn it into points. So we did a better job of that, and just playing through contact and making the adjustment as the game went on. We made just enough free throws, right? We missed quite a few down the stretch, but we made just enough to put us on the right side of it.
Coach, the physical play, we keep asking about it. Is this the JMU style now? Is this type of game favor JMU?
Yeah, it's going to have to be, right? We're going to have to make sure that that's what this league is, and I'm cool with that. We like physical games. We know how to prepare our guys for that from a physical standpoint and mentally as well, and credit our dudes because they're really responding to that and saying, hey, if that's what it takes to win these games, we're up for the challenge.